I'm not sure why I'm in a circle. I wish I was in a square, but I guess we'll just deal with it. Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick was born on 1928 and was raised in New York. I don't- What? Oh, crap. Crap. He started off as a photographer for some magazines, but he wanted to give short films a try. So he saved up money for his first couple of films. His first film, Fear and Desire, was not the best. Late in his career, Stanley Kubrick said he actually really doesn't like Fear and Desire, and it is a very, very amateur film. This film has a lot of audio issues, issues with shots connecting, and all that sorts. But Stanley Kubrick fans still love it nonetheless. Then you have Killer's Kiss, which Stanley Kubrick had to save up a lot of money for to finally get started. But still not his best work. It's just still very beginner. But then finally you have The Killing, which Stanley Kubrick took out loans for and put all his time and money and effort into to finally get him on the Hollywood map. And The Killing walked so that Paths of Glory could run. This movie is when Stanley Kubrick really took off. Paths of Glory is considered one of the best anti-films of all time. It stars Kirk Douglas, who was a popular actor at the time. And this is when we started to see Stanley Kubrick really be a abusive director. He had an actor do the same line over 87 times when it was a very basic line and very basic shot and scene. The reason this film was even made and Stanley Kubrick got the budget that it got was because he wrote the script and he showed it to other directors and Hollywood people, and they loved it. They wanted this film to get made. It's a picture from Paths of Glory. And then we have Spartacus, which I have not seen. I will not lie. Some of these movies I have not seen. It is the only Stanley Kubrick movie where he did not have full control. There's lots of arguing on set, tons of disagreements, tons of issues. Starred Kirk Douglas again. Douglas and Kubrick did not get along very much. Same with Kubrick and some of the writers and filmographers. A lot of argument happened, and again, Kubrick had a lot of people do takes over and over again. Then you have Doctor Strangelove, where I think the people that worked with Stanley Kubrick for this film finally understood. Okay, we're gonna give Stanley Kubrick control. Like that's just his thing. Like he is the control freak director, and we are going to try to have fun with this. And so they made a comedy where it is technically an anti-government film. They just make fun of the United States and the Red Scare, which is wild for the 1960s, but it still was somehow a success. Most people loved it. There's probably some people that were like, "Oh, this is too progressive or whatever. How are they making fun of the government?" But like for the most part, it made a lot of money. Fans loved it. It is still a great movie. I haven't seen all of it, I won't lie, but once I get to it, I'm sure I'll enjoy it and it'll be a fun comedy. Then we have arguably one of the greatest movies of all time with 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's in everyone's top 5. This is arguably the greatest movie of all time. Some of the most beautiful shots ever in this film. It's a bit slow, but once it kicks off in my opinion. The beginning is so iconic with all the monkeys and this weird mysterious, thing. This scene right here, the contraption that they're running in of how it looks like it's anti-gravity. I believe this costed like nearly $500,000. Just this one scene to build the contraption and have it all work was an insane amount of money. Now we have A Clockwork Orange, which is where things get interesting. This is probably, I think, arguably his most controversial film. It was literally banned in certain countries because of how insane it was. The message behind it is also a little unclear. I personally like the film. I haven't seen it since I was 14 though, so I don't know how much I'll like it again. I think I think you can respect the art and the uniqueness behind it, but the meaning I think is still a bit it's up to interpretation, which I also think is interesting. Then we have Barry Lyndon, which I have not seen. It is considered very long and very boring by some fans, and yeah, I think a lot of fans and the general audience did not like this movie, but critics loved it because you have shots like this. This is a shot from the movie. This is not the actual painting. They literally replicated it perfectly. And a lot of shots in this movie are like replications of paintings from this time frame, and it is just so sick. I respect the art, but will I take 3 hours to watch the movie? I probably should. I actually probably should. I won't lie. Then you have this random movie that nobody's ever heard of. He had Jack Nicholson and I believe what's her name, Mary Shelley, go up that one scene where Mary Shelley's swinging a bat toward Jack Nicholson over 127 times. 127, and then there's another shot where a ball is rolling towards the kid that took 50 takes. Stanley Kubrick wanted 50 takes of a ball rolling for it to be perfect. So very, very much a control freak. Then you have the greatest movie of all time, no question about it. No, honestly, my favorite war movie ever, though. Like, actually, a beautiful movie that shows the insanity of the Vietnam War and how there's other themes too of how we didn't understand autism and mental illness, and we just, when the draft just threw in anybody, like you had someone that clearly was not meant to be in war or the military, let alone, yet he was there, and he was getting abused, and it is just a beautiful, an insane but beautiful movie that I'm getting goosebumps. I feel like I want to cry right now because I have family that served in Vietnam. They died of Agent Orange. My grandpa died of Agent Orange. Both my parents served in Iraq. So like this movie is any war movie is amazing to me when done right. But this is like a whole nother level, like of just showing the insanity of war and the born to kill, but he has the peace sign on Joker's helmet. Like there's so many details and themes covered that are just so great. A woman sniper being like the main um, villain at the end or whatever that killed a lot of them. Like it's so good. It's so good.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pile?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir!
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir!
Then you have Eyes Wide Shut, which it took 12 years. Full Metal Jacket came out in 1987. I don't know why I don't have it here. But then it took 12 years to make it. It took over a year to film this movie, and so much time of writing and production for this for some reason. And it's a film about the top 1%, that had giant orgies and sex parties, or apparently, I don't know. It's a really weird film. I have not seen it, but I know about it. And Stanley Kubrick died 4 days after the production ended. A movie about the top 1% and like exposing, the weird conspiracy theories or whatever of what rich people, like really, really rich people do in Hollywood or whatever. He dies right when production ends. And apparently the editing might have been very heavily altered. Some scenes are flat out taken out. It is very fishy, I will say. Like it is very like, okay, that's weird. And my favorite Stanley Kubrick quote of all time is that the meaninglessness of life forces a man to create his own meaning, which I 100% agree with. That it's like very philosophy based or whatever. In the end, Stanley Kubrick was very much a dick on set. He again made actors retake the same shots, especially in The Shining, over and over and over again. His films will always live on for probably ever because of how iconic they are and how experimental they were for the time being. Like this movie came out in 68. In 60, it looks like it could have came out in the 90s, and it came out in 1968, maybe even the 2000s. Like it is such a beautiful movie. So almost all of his movies are actually so beautiful and just well done in terms of the shots, the acting, like him being such a control freak. While it was horrible, the abuse that the actors endured, it at least led to some beautiful films. So the cons led to some pros, I guess. And Stanley Kubrick will always be iconic for these reasons.